So we have this really twisted idea because of social media, because this never used to be a thing. In the 90s, no one was ever like, oh, most people, no, like from what, because of the neighborhood HOA, like what was your relative of most? Now we have such this idea that, oh my gosh, no one wants this. You mean the 12 people on Facebook who are very loud?
Yeah.
How are they representative of the 46,000 students, as an example for Marion County Public Schools, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, some people are never going to like an idea. That is the human, that's democracy, right? And if we were to like be socialists, then like lots of people wouldn't like it and no one would care. But that's the structure of the way we do life. We're still elected as an elected official or as a leader, and whether you're a leader in your home or you're a leader in a business or whatever, you are tasked with making decisions. And so it's about making sure the decision reflects your core, like what you're focused on, and then committing to it. Just like do what you said you were gonna do, which is a wild concept.
Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. And to the right of me, man, we have a very special guest. And I always say very special, but this is a special guest. We have the school board chair, we have a business owner, we have the wife, we have the mom, we have the extraordinaire Dr. Sarah James sitting with us today. How you doing today, Doctor?
I'm doing just dandy.
Just dandy. So tell me, what does that mean? What does dandy mean?
You know, it's an average day.
Average day.
Yeah.
Ooh, average day. I like that. So average day to you and average day to somebody else may be a totally different thing.
Oh no, my average day is like very different than most.
So talk to me about your average day.
Do you wanna know what I did today?
Yeah.
Let's see, I got up at 4:35.
Okay.
I went and worked out at 5:15 for 30 minutes. I drove home, had a decent like 30 minutes to myself.
Yeah.
Got my 3 children out of the house to school. And then I went to the gym again.
2 gyms.
Yes.
Why 2?
Because I train with a trainer for strength training at Zone, but I do like cardio. I like to work out at 5 a.m., but I don't want to work out with my trainer at 5 a.m. Yeah. So I do like 2 different, I work out twice. So, and so then I went to the gym. I get to the gym at like 7:45. And I didn't leave the gym until like 9:45. And then I had a Zoom. And then I visited both of my businesses. And then I had lunch at home with my husband.
Yeah.
And then I got ready to come here. So that's just an average day for me.
That's beautiful.
Not a ton of fires.
Yeah.
Some days the whole world is on fire. Yeah. Today was not one of them. It was a pretty chill day.
I think that's a beautiful, like, you know, when you read a book and then they have like the, what is it called before, when you read a book, not the introduction, but anywho, when you go in, you read the book and then you read the book. I think that's a great, like, intro into what we're about to talk about
and
today.
like not every day is easy, but like today like has been an exceptionally like chill day.
It tells all components of your life, but we're gonna get into that. But before we get into that, I know Dr. Sarah James is gonna bring a lot of people over to this episode. So stop what you're doing right now, like, subscribe, and comment. You know the cool thing about people liking, subscribing, and commenting? Do you know what it is?
It shows up in more people's feeds.
Yes, that's very, very impactful. It shows up on more people's feed, but also it's free 99. It costs you nothing to show some love. So tap the button to make sure you're showing love to this page and to this podcast and all the episodes. We got a lot of more encouraging episodes that we put out. So like, subscribe, and comment. All right. Other than that, Cut Different Academy coming soon. Come invest in the future that's going to change the world. Reimagine education. So it's going to be another great conversation that we're going to have here today. What's up, EL2A family, man? Come invest in the futures that are going to change the world. What you see here right now, man, we are reimagining education, right? We are giving these young boys and showing them who they are and where they're going. We're creating a school-to-career pipeline, and it's happening right here on this property, man. So let's go, EL2A fam. We're going to have a QR code that pops up. You scan that code, all right? And it's going to take you and tell you everything you need to know to come help us invest in the futures that's going to change the world. Let's go. Yeah. Got Different Academy 2027, y'all. But to get into the conversation, right? I always say there's 2 questions in life that you have to answer.
Okay.
Who am I? Where am I going? right? I think those two answers, when someone knows the answer to the question, obviously, who am I? That's a confidence, right? That's how you show up to the world, who you are. The where are you going? That's the GPS. That's the navigation to help you see, where you're going in life. Outside of titles, which you wear a lot, outside of the roles, which you do a lot, who is Sarah James?
So I think I've evolved, like who I was. Like I tell people all the time, like the person that somebody, like if you were a part of my life a decade ago and you like tuned out, you probably wouldn't recognize the majority of like who I am today. Cause like I have tried to evolve and become, I mean, we should all be trying to evolve to become a better version of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so, I tell, one of the things I say a lot is I'm Sarah every day. Mm-hmm. I show up. Is something that pretty much everyone who knows me will know is I'm authentically Sarah. I'm not Dr. Sarah James. I'm not a mom. I'm not a wife. I'm not any of these things. I'm authentically Sarah. And so I have authentic responses to things that irritate me. Mm-hmm. I have so much authentic care and concern. I authentically give and acknowledge, but I'm quick to say fault as well as praise. Mm-hmm. I'm quick to apologize, although my husband probably would he'd probably not necessarily. Yeah. It's hardest to apologize to the people you're closest to, sure. I would say. Yeah. But I apologized to an MCPS staff member today, right? Because I was like, it's evident that the way I responded last Thursday bothered you, and I want to apologize because it's clear that the way my message came off, you received in a way that was not my intention. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you're just a little too fiery, a little too hot, because I'm just authentically passionate all the time. Yeah. So I'm just authentically Sarah. Yeah. And so I'm a giver, I'm kind, I'm going to hold people to a boundary. I'm really great at setting boundaries and then enforcing them, which makes lots of people very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But that's who I am. Yeah. And so I feel like if I just carry Sarah throughout all facets of my life, then everyone knows what to expect. Yeah,
authentic. So you said authentic a lot, and then you said authentically passionate, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes passion can be taken as anger a lot of the time.
Oh, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that. So what about you being a woman and being passionate?
Men can be passionate all the time. So when men are passionate, they're being assertive. They're being leaders. They're leaning into what society expects men to be like. Mm-hmm. When women are assertive, we're just inserted an explicitive, right? We're just too much. We're too loud. We're too aggressive. We're too B-word, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so women have way less ability or access to have the same level of assertiveness or passion or directness than men are allowed to in society. I don't let that limit my level of assertiveness. Yeah. But I have to acknowledge that it is less tolerable to most people.
Does that make you be more passionate?
No. Well, I've worked on that, right? Because a decade ago, Sarah was led with assertiveness instead of trying to build a rapport, try to build kindness, try to build a way to meet someone so that when you then are assertive, they receive it better. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I just ripped the Band-Aid off a decade ago. Uh-huh. I massage it a lot more so that when I'm me, someone understands that I'm coming from a place of care and concern, and they know I can trust me.
Yeah. I hear a lot of confidence in when you're speaking, because even with the man thing, right? So that is true. I do agree with what you're saying, right? Yeah. We can't dismiss that. But even though some things are true, don't mean that people can still perceive it the right way.
100%. Right? We all just have different lens. We all see things differently.
Right. So sometimes that way you feel and the confidence of it can have you show up even more so in that light, and it's going to make people uncomfortable.
Well, when a woman is assertive, most people are uncomfortable regardless. Yeah. So because women are not generally assertive. So through walks of life, most people expect women traditionally to just be in a certain space. And as society has evolved, more and more women have leaned into, I would say, owning their level of assertiveness or the way they can show up authentically. Mm-hmm. But I am much better now about not raising my level of assertiveness because it's in a space where I should be less assertive. Like I don't show up greater than now to compensate because of the uncomfortability.
Yeah.
I'm just authentically Sarah every day.
Yeah. Has this always been the case, or like when did this all like?
Oh, I think you're born the way you're born, right? Okay. So like, I mean, I told my 10th grade biology teacher I wasn't taking the AP exam because I thought she was a crap teacher. I mean, like I have been an authentic human being from the rip. I have had to curate how I deliver messages so that they're received better. Because you can, just because you're authentic doesn't necessarily mean that like that's the time to deliver the message, right? Because if you deliver a message to an audience that doesn't want to hear you, you know, congratulations, you talked.
Yeah. So let's do this real quick. How did you grow up? Because a lot of, I truly think the way you grew up, the way you were raised has a lot to be who you are, right? I'm a product of teenage parents. A lot of my upbringing wounded the man that sits in front of you today. How are you raised? 2-parent household? What kind of...
I mean, my life was, could have been a movie, right? So I grew up very privileged in the scope of the real world. I lived in a gated community. I came from a 2-parent household. Both of my parents have advanced degrees. My mom is a doctorate. My dad is a master's. I got a brand new car when I turned 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah. I also got an AA degree while I was in high school, and I used that car to drive to community college. Okay. So it's not like, and I had a job. I remember my mom dropping me off for my job like when I was 14 or 15 years old. So I had a job all through high school, all through college. I can't remember not working. But yeah, I grew up pretty privileged. And so when I met my husband, who grew up differently, blending our expectations for life was a journey, because his parents are still married, but he grew up with less privilege than I had, for sure. He still had everything he ever needed and more, but we just, our lives look different. I mean, I grew up in a gated community where like I could ride my bike to, you know, my neighbor's house. And of course nowadays, like I'd never let my kid do that, even if I lived in a gated community. It was the 90s. But like my husband grew up like riding dirt bikes on down dirt roads. And like, I mean, I didn't even know what dirt roads were until I moved here, because I didn't have those.
For sure.
So, but yes, I had a wonderful childhood. My parents are still married. My parents have been married for a long time, as have my husband's parents, which is weird for most people our age to have both of our parents still married.
For sure.
But yeah.
So you mentioned the word privilege, right?
Yeah.
There's a person out there in this ecosystem that likes to call you Sarah Jane,
Doctor
Sarah White Privilege.
Yes. You got to get it right.
White Privilege James, or whoever that is. And that person's a white woman, right? Yes. You're a white woman.
I'm a white woman most days.
So this is like a white on white crime almost. Like, this is how jokingly.
Well, and you know what? This is the thing. I use the word, but I think it's important to acknowledge where you are, because I don't ever want someone to speak for me about where I am and where I came from. So I just lean into who I am. Like, let's acknowledge it was pretty easy for me. All things considered. Like I mean, we have a funeral for one of my husband's family members tomorrow. And like, I have only ever been to 2 funerals in my whole life. And that was for my great grandparents and then my grandfather. So like, I mean, even my husband, he's grown up on the North End, like countless funerals. He's had more friends die or acquaintances from high school die in the last 10 years than I've ever even had in my whole family die. And so, my life's been pretty good, and I've worked really hard to make my life even better. But I definitely started, we didn't all start on the same go, you know?
On fairness of the conversation, why is this person saying that calling you a white privileged Sarah James, right? Because a lot of people not
that'd be a question for Patty D. That's what I call her. But I think that I think as humans, our flesh has to find faults in others. That's what we seek to do to validate ourselves. And as I try to be more like Christ, I have worked towards not comparison and a life where I am not trying to position myself next to somebody else, but just being me. And that just being me is going to be good enough. But I think most people find ways to make other people feel smaller so they can make themselves feel bigger. So I can't speak. You'd have to ask Patty D herself. But I think that that's probably the general synopsis.
What allows you to take that level of self-thought, I guess, to realize, because a lot of people have better situations, but I don't think that they outwardly mention that. Like, what about you allowed you to sit, or what experience did you have allows you to sit and say, whoa, my life is different, and you vocally, go outward with that?
Well, I think when you spend time, and being an educator allows you to spend time with people who come from a walk of life that's not the same as yours. So as an educator, I only ever worked in a Title I school.
Mm-hmm.
My first job, I got out of college. I graduated from UF at 21, and my first job was at Pine Hills Elementary School, which is called Crime Hills.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most people call it. It's in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first interview I had, and I should have known that something was wrong when she offered me the job on the spot. But I was green, and I had no idea. So I took the job, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Every single day I showed up and I did it. I cried every day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go back. I told my mom I was going to quit like 900 times.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're not quitting. And I truly believe I became the educator I am because of the experiences I had to go through that year.
Yeah.
But I mean, at one point I was up to like 23 kindergartners. My picture of my kindergarten school picture, my class picture is on my social media. But I mean, I had all Black students except for one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like working in a Title I school to allow someone to have perspective about how other people live their lives.
Yeah.
And so when you live in your ecosystem and you never exit your ecosystem, I could see how you might believe that, and the complex of comparison, you're like, man, watching other people's social media highlights, and you're like, man, my life is like so compared to theirs. They're on vacations and they're doing this and they're doing that. And so you get into this comparison game, which I last year really took effort in. I don't unfollow because then they know you unfollow them, right? But you can mute them so you don't see their stuff anymore. Because I found myself comparing myself to other people, which was so unhealthy, right? And not who they are physically, but what they're doing in their life.
For sure.
So I think when you start putting yourself outside of your ecosystem and put yourself in other people's ecosystems, you're then able to see that wow, I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
I went to Berkeley Point for before we came back from Christmas break to help Miss Brower, who's the assistant principal there, pass out laundry soap and quarters. And I took my daughters with me. It was her idea. Miss Brower, she wanted to make sure the kids had clean clothes before they went back. And the kids do their own laundry. And there's a laundromat of sorts in the apartment complex. And so we had snacks, and then we were giving out quarters and laundry soap. And my middle daughter said, Mom, why are they so hungry? And so, it was a great opportunity to talk about the fact that you've actually never been hungry. You tell me you're starving all the time, but you've actually never even experienced hunger. But these children are actually hungry because the only meals they get often are the ones that they serve in school. And so to get to the point of your question, I think that I'm able to acknowledge my privilege and how great my life is because I've put myself in places where I can experience what other people, I can not even experience, but begin to even remotely understand what their life is like.
Yeah. Talk about the perspective. So you said there was a perspective that was gained through your experience at Pine Hills or whatever. What perspective was gained? What did you notice about their life that was so totally different?
Oh, I mean, Antavius would come to school. I mean, I still know their names, right? It's been almost, they're all hopefully they're all high school graduates, but if we're being honest, probably not. But Antavius would show up every day and he would eat breakfast and then he would sleep for the first 2 hours of the day during reading block because he was high. So he would come to school. His parents would smoke weed the entire way in. He'd hotbox in the car. So he's smoking weed essentially.
For sure.
He gets to school, he eats breakfast, and then he would sleep and I would let him sleep because I'm not going to make you can't make a 5-year-old stay awake while you're trying to manage 20 others, especially when you're not that good at it and it's your first teaching. And then he'd wake up and he'd do the rest of his day. But wow.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, we listened to fun music or read books or audio tapes or whatever in the 90s on the way to school. Yeah. And this poor baby is getting high and then getting the munchies and taking his morning nap.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And he didn't even know how to drink out of a water fountain. So he literally like used his hand and like an animal because he had never experienced a water fountain.
Wow.
And until you realize that there are, and this is everywhere in every community, there are children who literally are lacking access to the most basic things. And you don't know they're lacking access until you witness them try to use something that you think you can, it's like common, like a water fountain.
Yeah.
And they literally don't know how to use a water fountain because they've never experienced a water fountain. Yeah. That's how I define my perspective. Yeah. And so for some people who pass judgment so easily, they probably could have their eyes so widened and gain so much more perspective if they just were to experience even a remote glimpse of what life is like for other people. Yeah. And it's not about color, right? Sure. It's just about the fact that like your life is, all things considered, pretty great. Yeah. And other people are literally freezing tonight because they don't have heat. Yeah. And not because they're not working hard and not because they're not trying hard, but like life just really is unfortunate for them. Yep. And it's a series of unfortunate events. And I tell people all the time, the fork in the road forks a lot. Yeah. And how many times did you just take the wrong fork? Yeah. And you've just taken the wrong fork. And now you're in like it's a crap situation. Yeah. And so the kids who are then born into people who took the wrong fork are then the victims of the circumstance. Yeah. And how do we help grow them up to try to change it? Yeah, it's so powerful. So I said on a line one time, like kids on the west side of Ocala and kids in the forest, like two sides of town, but some of the same things that you're saying, these kids are in unfortunate situations. A word that you mentioned was access. Access is so powerful. The podcast is EL2A, exposure leads to access, right? Because we understand what access. When you say access, I also think of equity, right? That goes into the privileged part of it. Right. I want to hear from you. What does equity actually, what does that mean to you? So I think everyone has to work hard for what they get. But the reality is, we are not all starting out. We have to all acknowledge that we're all not starting at the same go. Yeah. We didn't all finish go and collect $200. Yeah. Some people passed go and got nothing. Mm-hmm. Some people passed go and they're negative. Yeah. God bless them. Yeah. They didn't get their $200, right? Yeah. And so everyone has to earn their way, 1,000%. And no one should get anything because of the color of their skin or the gender they are. Yeah. I full-heartedly believe that. Yeah. But we have to acknowledge that we're not all starting from the same place. So a hand up is not a hand out. Yeah. And like, I can help someone else along the way. You don't have to earn it, right? Yeah. I mean, I have an employee just recently, we're not an employee anymore because I had to fire her. But bad marriage, bad situation. So just bad. So she was ready to get out. And I had told her, whenever you're ready to get out, I'm going to help you get out. And I paid about couple $1,000, got her into a place, moved her and her kids out. And, you know, ultimately, I had to fire her because like, that's what being a business owner is. Yeah. But I didn't hold on to this, like, I gave you this, now you owe me that. No, I'm giving you a hand up to try and help you get out of your circumstance. That may not, it didn't work out for me, but I don't feel, I'm not at a loss because I lost that money, right? But my goal is if I become a better version of me, then I should be then helping other people become better versions of them. Yeah. They have to walk it, but I can at least help pave the road. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But you got to walk through it and you got to do it yourself. Yeah. You're going to have to walk. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to get across the finish line. But I can at least like make sure you're not walking on a dirt road and you're walking on a paved path. Yeah. And so I guess that would be the way I would describe it. Okay. That's beautiful. So as you're saying that, I'm thinking about this, and some people can walk into a room, right, and they can feel some type of way. They can feel that they're changing the room, but the people in the room are like having those negative thoughts about that person. Yeah. So how do you think the community, how do you think the MCPS employees, the places that you go, how do you think people perceive you? I'm a lot. Okay. Like, I'm a lot. Every day, though, right? And so I think when you just, like, lean in and own it, it's a little bit easier. I think a lot of people like me, and I think some people hate me. Just this morning, it's funny you say that. So just this morning, I was at One Hot working out, 5:15, and it's all women. There's usually, like, one man, but, like, it's all women. And it's mostly white women. I don't know why, but it is. So there's this black girl that comes, though. And so yesterday I could tell like she was looking at me. And so generally that means like they're trying to figure out, because obviously like at 5:15 a.m. I look a little different. I'm obviously in gym clothes. And I'm like I'm pretty muscular. So then I kind of just like stand out in a room of petite women anyways. And so this morning she was like, hey, are you Sarah James? And I was like, I am. Yeah. And like, I never know what's going to come next, right? Like you never know, because it could be someone that's mad at me. It could be someone who loves me, whatever. And she was like, my husband is, and she told me, and I won't say it here because for just to respect their privacy, but she was like, and I just want you to know he loves you. Yeah, and she's like, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, he's also doing a wonderful job. And like that, thank you for saying something positive. And so, yeah, I think generally people can, they may not love everything I do, but they love the fact that I am authentically, I'm going to say the inside thoughts out loud. Yeah. Because there's something to be respected for having the guts to just say it and stand by it. And if you're wrong, just acknowledge you're wrong. Because I think I'm pretty good too at saying like, that was a swing and a miss. Yeah. We probably could have done that better. Yeah. And let's just learn from it, grow from it, and do it better. Yeah. But yeah, there are absolutely people who do not like me. Yeah. 10 out of 10, do not recommend.
Yeah. Do you care?
No. No, not at all.
Why not?
Because why? There is my energy, my day, like today was a pretty easy day, but my day nonetheless is going to be a 16 or 17 hour day today. Woke up at 4:30, probably not going to be in bed until hopefully 9:30. That's the goal. So I can get my 7 hours. But like my day is full of impact and like positive and conversation. So like you not liking me affects me none. Now, did it used to? Yes. Big feelings. It used to really bother me.
Yeah.
Even today, so my birthday is next Monday. And I was saying to my husband, like we were planning our week and I was like, can I go to dinner on Friday night? And I'm not asking him because I need his permission to go, but I'm asking him because like we're a family who plans and respectfully, like we should all. So I feel like I need to clarify that because I don't need my husband's permission.
I was just about
I'll go to dinner if I want to go to dinner.
Nobody even said that. Why you had to mention that?
But I do think it's like out of respect in a marriage, okay. I do think everyone should ask permission for everything because like we are a unit and we work together.
Is that your way of, hold on, sorry. Is that your way of control? Because you literally just mentioned that you didn't need your husband's approval. No one asked you that. Why did you feel you had to say that?
Because like someone will say it. Someone is going to say
but
like,
no one said that.
No,
here.
but no, but somebody will.
But no one said that here. What made you feel so enthused to say that?
I don't know, I guess. I mean, I just know that like someone's going to be like, oh, she needs her husband's permission to like leave the house.
Why does that matter?
It doesn't matter, but I think sometimes it's important for me to write the record. I'm trying to plan a little dinner for Friday night, but I have no friends. Like I have like the smallest friend group ever because over the years, I mean, I've never had a ton of girlfriends because girls are just generally not very nice. I mean, some people have tons of girlfriends. I've never really had a ton of girlfriends. So my circle has gotten so small because I am going to be authentically me. So like, I was like, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call anybody out and be like, girl, come on. Right. And so it takes a really special person to like want to be friends. And so I don't have this. I was telling my husband, like, I don't have this. He's like, who's coming to dinner? I'm like nobody. And that's fine with me though. Like, it doesn't hurt my heart that like, there's not a lot of people because my circle of people has just gotten so authentically small that, it's just this special group of people and the haters will hate and it totally doesn't bother me. Yeah. And the people who love me will love me.
Yeah. Is that true? It's like, look, hear me out, right? I know, okay, you're Dr. Sarah James, you're tough, you know what I mean? I get it. But to understand that you have a party or dinner that may be coming up and you don't have a wide range of friends to invite, you don't care about it.
No.
So you're friendless and you just don't care about it.
No, because like the people I am friends with are like so amazing.
Okay.
And so like my life is full of people with purpose and like the right group of people. And so I would rather have the right group of people show up for me than this big, huge group of people and like posture like it and make it this Instagram reel and like everything's so great and like look at all these people, but like they all literally hate you. Yeah. They talk smack about you. They send your reels to each other to talk smack about you because you're actually so inauthentic. So I'd rather just have like a curated group of people who love me.
Is there a chance that you don't have as many friends because you're not a good friend?
No. Well, they may not receive my friendship well, but I am a good friend. So I am going to show up as me every day. And I'm going to call you out on your BS. And I'm going to hold you to the things you said you were going to do. But like, literally will die on a cross for people. Okay. I'm an amazing friend. Now, you may not like to be called out. And so we're not going to be good friends because you don't want someone who's going to tell you the truth to your face. You'd much rather a nice group of people who are fluffy. And that's not me.
Were you born this way or were you made this way?
I think it's both. Like, I think it's nurture and nature. I think God designed you to be a certain way. And again, the road forks. And so you have to take the right forks, and hopefully the nurture helps define which forks you take, which, you know, back to that conversation, if kids lack direction, then they're going to take the wrong fork. So I had great direction.
Yeah.
I had great support. So I was able to go the right way, or the way I perceived it to be right. And then I think God builds you the way that you're intended to be. Yeah. But you have to like show up. So like, that's the whole thing, is people tune into my life now and they think somehow like it's been this way all along, but I have worked on this life to be this life. Yeah. Like, I didn't just never work. And so I got to like work out for 4 hours and have lunch with my husband and then do this today. Like, I didn't just show up in this life. I worked to get here. Yeah.
What is something about the old Sarah, right, that you had to rid to be this Sarah? Like, what is something that
she was like super mean?
She was super mean. So you're not super mean. Hold on. No. You're not super mean now. You used to be super mean.
Used to be.
So what are you now?
I'm direct.
What?
So like, mean and direct are not the same thing. Mean has like intentionality of like not being nice. So like, there are other words, some that start with a B, that you would like describe a person, right? Yeah. So like, I imagine a decade ago, people were like, damn, because like, I was just not nice, right? I'm honestly, I don't know how my husband, because we've been together for 13 years. So like, he has seen a true like evolution of me. Yeah. And it's funny, we were just talking about this the other day, because he's like, I'm just the same Danny I've always been. Yeah. And really like, he's always been this like
chill guy. Gotta be.
Well, if you're gonna hang out with me, right?
Gotta be, right? Yeah,
so he's always been this like very chill. I mean, he is, we're both better people than we were 13 years ago, but like, he's always been very consistent. And I have evolved into like a much softer, kinder, more godlike version of me. I'm still as direct, but I'm direct. I'm not mean. There's no ill intent in my directness. Yeah. When you're mean, there's like ill intent in the way you say things or the way you're handling things, right?
Yeah. Now I hear you. So you think about leadership, right? So you think about everything you're saying you are shows up in your leadership, right? Totally. Being willing to take a position when others aren't.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. So what about even doing that, right? That's not, you know, we're saying it because I guess this is naturally who you become, but that's tough, right? So what about leadership and making those difficult decisions? Like, what about that has I guess just directed you, has molded you more so in your leadership?
Well, I think when you become elected, you're forced into deciding how you're going to show up, because people just are paying more attention, right? The community's paying attention. The people who voted for you are paying attention. The trolls are paying attention. Yeah. And so you got to like say it with your whole chest. Or say nothing at all. Yeah. But you got to be really committed to whatever you're going to say, because people are going to segment it and they're going to take it apart and they're going to switch it up. And so I think like running for public office was an elected, that was like a God thing. It wasn't a
Sarah thing.
No, 100% not. Like, I literally was pregnant with my third child. I filed to run for office 10 days after he was born. No one does that. I had a C-section, and 10 days later I filed to run. I had my third C-section, and 10 days later I filed to run for school board. Yeah. So like and I already had a business. No normal person is like, that sounds like a great idea. That was on my bingo card for 2022, right? Yeah. So that's a God thing. And that's just like feeling called to do something, listening, abiding, doing what, like letting God lead your steps. And like, however, you just got to trust, like it's all going to work out. I ran less than a 3-month campaign. I got elected and now here we are, and I'll run again. But like, you know, how do you just have to follow whatever you're supposed to do and like pray about it and listen and then go. But just being willing to lean into whatever the path is and like trust that it's all going to work itself out is kind of what I've had to give away. Like, I don't know, it's going to be fine. Whatever. And I didn't used to be this like chill. I used to be so like control of the plan and control of how it was going to go and like what we're doing next and where we're going and what we're doing. And like motherhood mixed with becoming like a much stronger Christian and like really being very faithful has like made me way chiller.
Yeah. What's the hardest part? So decision making is hard. Like, come on, like.
It's not hard. Yeah, it's not hard
for most people, right? Decision making is hard. But what's the hardest part about making a decision when you understand that most people or like everyone is not going to be on the same page?
So I think that's what you said though, is most people. So it's not ever most people. It's the loudest people in the room. So we have this really twisted idea because of social media, because this never used to be a thing. In the 90s, no one was ever like, oh, most people. No, like from what, because the neighbor had HOA, like what was your relative of most? Now we have such this idea that, oh my gosh, no one wants this. You mean the 12 people on Facebook who are very loud? How are they representative of the 46,000 students, as an example, for Marion County Public Schools, right? And so, yes, some people are never going to like an idea. That is the human, that's democracy, right? And if we were to like be socialist, then like lots of people wouldn't like it and no one would care. But that's the structure of the way we do life. We're still elected as an elected official or as a leader, and whether you're a leader in your home or you're a leader in a business or whatever, you are tasked with making decisions. And so it's about making sure the decision reflects your core, like what you're focused on, and then committing to it. Just like do what you said you were going to do, which is a wild concept that no one seems to be able to do.
Why is that?
Well, because follow through is very uncomfortable and it's very hard. And like actually showing up and like doing the work. I mean, we talk about like even physical transformation. You know, people will ask me, well, how do I get arms like you? I don't know. I've shown up in the gym every day for 2.5 years. Like very, very diligent. And I've been an athlete for years, but like I have been very diligent and I eat like 200 grams of protein a day. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. Okay, well then you can't have arms like me. And so people just like cannot follow through. It's like we have created such a I was thinking about a word that was going to be totally inappropriate, but like we have made society so weak. And so now no one follows through. No one does what they say they were going to do. And like what people know about me is like, if I say I'm going to do something, count on me. I'm going to be on time. I'm not going to be super early. I don't have time to be super early. I was early today, which is odd because I had an easy day. Generally, I'm going to be coming in hot 60 seconds or less before I'm supposed to be there because my time is valuable. But I'm going to be on time and I'm going to be present and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And then I'm going to move on to my next thing and then I'm going to follow through. Whatever I said I'm going to do, I'm going to do it.
If you're on time, you're late. So I want you to remember that.
Well, no.
If you're on time, you are late. Coming in 60 seconds beforehand, you're late.
When the room is waiting on you, though, it's a little bit different.
Say that again?
When the room's waiting on you. So like when I am the purpose for the meeting, I can be on time. Because like I don't need to be prepared. You guys are waiting on me. So like I don't need to be sitting there waiting for everyone to come in because my time, if I were to look at the room, my time is probably the most valuable in the room because you guys are all waiting on me to start a meeting. So I got other things to do. I am a business owner and a mom and a this and a that, and I'm prioritizing me too. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to respect your time by being on time, but I'm not going to sit around waiting on other people.
Is that leading by example?
Yeah, I want everyone to be on time. I don't want everyone to sit around. Everyone should be so productive that sitting around for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes waiting on someone else to show up that to me means you're not maximizing your time potential.
Yeah, I'm asking, so if everybody's just coming in and meeting at 6
roll in, 60 seconds early, let's get started. To me, that is efficient.
Okay.
Everybody's sitting around.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend? That fellowship's great. That's why we should have a luncheon.
Yeah.
But like, if we're having an executive meeting, we should not just be sitting around for 15 minutes, like waiting on everybody to show up.
Yeah.
Everyone should be so maximized and so efficient with their time, because otherwise, go home earlier. Go be with your family earlier.
Yeah.
Let's maximize our day so you can cut out at 3:30 and go take your kid to soccer.
I like that.
Because to me, that's what's like, we don't need to sit around and have fellowship about what you did yesterday. Let's get the work done and then go be with your family.
Yeah, I'm just making sure everybody else had that. I like
it. Everybody's got that same privilege. Roll in. And you better have your stuff ready, because I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to execute. I got it all right up here. Let's go.
Yeah,
but like, don't come unprepared on time. You got to be prepared on time.
I got you. Talk to me about your decision-making process, right? So when it comes to making the decision, especially when it comes to your role as board chair and being on the chair, so you're making these decisions over a whole bunch of students and a whole bunch of families. So when it comes to these big decisions that everyone sees in the public, and some they agree, some they don't agree, is there a set decision-making process that you have that this checkpoint decision, or how do you go about making decisions?
So when I got elected, I said to myself, I'm going to put my head on my pillow every night, and I'm going to believe in my heart that I've done what was best. And if I, for whatever reason, feel unsettled by decisions I made, I'm going to course correct those decisions.
Yeah.
I haven't yet gotten to a point where a public decision that impacted students has left me unsettled. Now, there are things that I've done in the last 3.5 years that in moments where I'm like, I could have handled that a little better. Yeah. I can think of conversations in my front yard where I told people that their stuff was a mess, right? Yeah. In hindsight, if you were Monday morning quarterbacking it, you're like, I probably could have just not picked up the phone, right? I probably could have just let that one go till the next day, and things could have gone a lot differently. But I also think that God planned that way because it all had to happen, and like there is purpose in the plan. So, you have to just show up and make the decision that you think is the best decision. And as long as you've done that in that moment, then you just consistently do that, and it will go exactly as it's intended, and not the way I intended it, but the way God intended it. Yeah. And like, that has just been my true north for my entire time being elected. Yeah. Yeah. It's not about me. Yeah. It's not about my convenience. It's not about what's best for my family. It's about what is best for the greater good. And that's what I always, when I meet with a principal and then maybe a decision is going to impact that principal, I always say, this house is your most important thing. My house is just a lot bigger. Yeah. And so while the decision may adversely affect one group of individuals, is it overly impacting positively the most individuals? Right. And like leading an organization with 46,000 people or students, and 7,000 employees, like somebody's bound to be pissed off. Yeah.
Have you ever made a decision to appeal to a person, a political party, or anything? So let me hear you out. There may be a decision that you're like, I'm leaning toward this way, but if I know I go this way, it's going to make him, she, her, them mad. So I don't want to do that, so I just go this way.
No. I thought about it, right? Because you're flesh, you're human, you think about it. You're like, well, the easiest way, right? The easiest route, I could just like not say anything, right? I could just like not say that Madison Street should move, or I could just not say that Cut Difference is a great program, or I could just, there are lots of things I could just not say. And the silence would speak volumes to the community that it impacts, but also the silence would speak to who I am, and I'm not silent. So I am like a fierce protector of people. I'm an Enneagram 8. And so for those that love the Enneagram, like I am like a fierce protector of people. So if I think that something is like unjust or unright, like I'm going to like fiercely protect to make it better. Yeah. And like navigating, not being too obsessed with making it right has been something. But no, like I've never made a decision that I felt was prioritized based on public opinion. Yeah. And if honestly, I've made some decisions that are like I knew were going to be so publicly not. I mean, like, essentially, like, the Madison Street conversation, my husband had to go to the school and have a conversation because we were that concerned for our children's safety.
Talk about that. Now, and this is a real thing I want you. So being, you don't just get to be Dr. Sarah James and isolate that, right? The decisions and everything you have affects the folks that are around you, right? So something just like that, now your kids' safety, in a sense, is coming to question?
We were like 100% concerned for our kids' safety because of the adults and how deranged adults were acting about a conversation. That could impact them, rightfully so. But it was still just a conversation. And like their behavior, the way they behaved, the way they talked, both in person and on social media, which people are really good at, like talking real cray-cray on social media because it's just so disconnected. Legitimately, we were concerned. And like, that wasn't on my bingo card. I didn't like.
So why did you choose to even jump into that fire?
Because it's what's right. What's right is that we should consolidate campuses and we should put 600 kids, and this is like way in the weeds, but like we should do what's right financially, because that's what I was elected to do, is be a school board member's sole job is budget, so the money and the policy. Theoretically, we're not supposed to touch anything else. So all I'm looking at is the money. I'm like, well, man, we got to get our schools to like break even. And I'm looking at 2 schools that don't break even. And I'm looking at a school for alternative learning that's in the armpit of the district and completely in a place that is like, no one else would want to be there. And so how am I thinking about moving all the things around to get everyone where they're in what I would consider a better spot? And I stand by everything I said, and I still think it's a great idea. Apparently it was unpopular.
Very.
And so there were consequences for me opening my mouth. I don't take any of it back. I don't take any of it back.
Your kids go to that school.
I'm also a business partner. I've given in 3 years about $15,000 to the school.
So you're basically hitting that doesn't matter to you.
No.
That was the right decision.
My sister-in-law could have lost her job in the merge.
She teaches.
She's a clerical staff member. So when schools merge, clerical staff sometimes get repurposed to other places. That didn't matter to me because what mattered to me was doing what was right. That was like, I wasn't elected to have bias. That's the whole thing. I think that's why politics is so messed up, because we elect people who then are so biased towards their own agenda or some money or some lobby. I mean, look at Washington. It's a disaster because everybody pays everybody. And like, I was elected in this community to do what was best, regardless of my personal impact.
So you go back.
I stand 10 toes down on that decision. Now I lost, and that's fine because one board member has no power. And that's what people forget is like, it takes 3 people to do anything on a board of 5. It takes 5 people on a board of 7, et cetera, et cetera. So like, one person can't do anything.
How you take them L's? How does it feel when you went out there and because people can't come like, it's like.
So I think when you show up and you're like committed to whatever you were going to do, you don't like, it's not an L. I don't see it as an L. Like I didn't, because it wasn't a battle. It was just me doing what I thought was right, and it wasn't popular. And so it didn't get the traction it needed to become a thing, but that doesn't mean I lost. And so I don't see it as an L.
I feel. Talk to me about this. So we even to get here to this board position, you talked about it earlier, the Pine Hills back in Orlando, the education. So you were a teacher, right? First, that's what you opted for first. Why education? Why did you choose to that career path?
I don't know. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to be a doctor. I thought I was going to do all kinds of stuff. And I'll be honest, like I'm not very good at science and math. So like I got to college and real quick was like, that ain't for me. Like I did my AA in high school and I did all my math at community college, and like I got C's get degrees for math at community college. So when I got to UF, I was like, no, let's be real. And so then I was doing some liberal arts stuff, right? And my dad's like, for the love of God, don't get a liberal arts degree. What are you going to do with that? And then because I was only at UF for 3 years, my 3rd year, I was like, well, I really like writing. and I like reading, and I'm really good at writing. So let me just get a degree in English. So I got a degree in English. I minored in education, and I wound up taking certification tests for K6 and then 6-12 English. And then the first job I got offered was, and so I was like, I'll just be a teacher. I'll start there, and then whatever, I'll figure it out. I don't know.
So you started doing this, right? Then you got to a point to where you got into leadership roles in education.
Well, I immediately started my master's. So I graduated from UF at 21, and I started my master's at 21 at UCF. So my first 2 years of teaching in Orlando, I got my master's in educational leadership. You can't even use an ed leadership master's until your third year teaching, because they won't let you do anything until you have 3 years of leadership or teaching experience. So then after I graduated and I moved here to Marion County, I wound up teaching in Levy County, which is a very small ecosystem, all things considered, because Marion County had done that big layoff in the teens. And so I couldn't get a job in Marion County. So I got a teaching job in Levy. And because Levy is such a small ecosystem, I then got hired to be an administrator after my third year teaching.
Is that part of that privilege thing you talked about?
No, I just think in God's plan, I got put in the right place at the right time. Like, I mean, I was in a very small pool of people. They do literally call it a pool, but it wasn't. I mean, I didn't mean that. It's a pun, but I was in a small ecosystem. So there was not a lot of people applying for jobs. And so you show up, you apply for jobs, you have the gumption to say, yeah, I've been teaching for 3 years and count me in. I could do that job. I had no idea what I was doing. Right? I had no idea what I was doing. But like, you can count on me to show up. So I did it.
So 3 years teaching, and then what was the
and then I became an administrator in AP.
So
in Levy County.
So teaching 3 years. And jump straight
I only ever did 3 years in the classroom to date. I mean, I've only ever been a teacher for 3 years, classroom teacher for 3 years. And then I became an administrator, and then I left Levy County, and I worked at the gym for a couple of years because I was commuting over an hour one way. Like, it was insane. And then I came back to Marion County, and I was at Fort King for 9 weeks. And then I became back to being an administrator because I got in their pool. And then I was at high school for 2.5 years here. And then I quit during COVID. I was just philosophically so disaligned with what we were doing. And my husband and I had gone on a walk in October of 2020. And I was just like literally physically ill because my spirit was so bothered by what I was doing. I was spending all day, every day calling people because their kid may have gotten COVID. And just like every day was consumed with like bad news that I didn't even agree with, right? I'm like, cause your kid sat in this seat, everyone who like maybe he coughed on, right? It was a whole thing. We shall not even go into it.
Please don't.
So, so we went on a walk, and Danny was like, like if you want to just quit your job and like do this, because Kid City had approached me about putting franchises in Marion County. And so he was like, I can float us if that's what you want to do. And so then I quit my job.
Talk about the mindset shift. So that's a big difference, right? From being an employee to owning a business.
No, so I thought forever Danny was going to be the entrepreneur, which was like risky. And I was going to be the one that like every 2 weeks, the government was going to pay me what I earned, right? So consistent. And so such a risk. And like, I'm like not a risk person. Like I'm very much calculated. Like I'm going to know the black, the white. I don't like rainbows. I don't like gray. Right. And so, I think that's really what part of like what has evolved me over the last 5 or 6 years is like, you have to become those things as a business owner. No day looks the exact same. Tomorrow could be like a dumpster fire. Today was great. Tomorrow could be great. And you have to learn to ebb and flow. And so I never, 10 years ago, if you had said, this is where you're going to be, I'd be like, that's wild. Because I would never put that on and I would never guessed. But I think it's important to lean into just like letting, and like I told someone just the other day, like, I totally appreciate that not everybody has a husband who can just like float them for a year. Right? Like, again, like my go for entrepreneurship looked different than other people's go for entrepreneurship. But like he believed in me, and like that belief and like understanding that like I'm capable of doing this when I didn't necessarily believe in myself probably has more value than the monetary value and the monetary support. And then I owned a business, and then I owned a couple more businesses, and then I sold those businesses, and then I ran for school board, and then I owned another business, and now it's just what I do.
Living the blessed life. So let me tell you this. I want you to do this. Give me So, because a lot of people can't make that or don't make that jump. They may not have the luxury of being 100%. Able to be floated. You have a lot of, especially in education now, you have a lot of teachers that may be in there that want out because for whatever reason, or somebody just in whatever career they're in right now, they just want more for themselves. What type of motivation would you give for that person that wants more for themselves, but they feel like I have to be here?
Well, no one is stuck. So regardless of your circumstance, no one is stuck. Stuck is like a mentality. I have seen testimony of people who had little to no access to anything and have become so much. That TikTok creator, like School of Hard Knocks, and he introduces all those interviews all those millionaires and billionaires, and like most of them say, like, because one of the first questions he asks is like, "Where did you come from? Did you come from money?" And they're all like, "No, I didn't come from money."
Yeah.
So like, I honestly think coming from money makes it harder because like you have this like you have this innate thought pattern most of the time where like it should just be easier, but you just feel like you shouldn't have to work as hard. I'm like the hardest worker anyone's ever met. Like people see me all the time. Like I do the physical stuff at my school. I do the manual labor. Like I mean, I do it all because like I don't want to pay someone to do that. Honestly, right? But everyone is capable. Most people don't want to work hard enough, and most people don't bet on themselves enough.
Yeah.
So like I tell you, you got to take that up with you and the big man. Is that part of your plan? And then like just do the work. But people don't even stick to a diet for 14 days. I mean, let's be real. So like you can't even commit to eating broccoli for a month, let alone like betting on yourself. I mean, when I opened up my first business, this was back COVID time. So like you could get money was like so easy to get back in 2020. And so I took out like literally $80K in interest-free credit cards. So they were all like 12 months interest-free and like $80K. And then at 12 months, it was about to get real. All of those were paid off in 12 months. They were all paid off in 12 months. But I had to bet on me like big. And most people are not willing to do that because like my parents weren't buying me out of that. Like I'm not that blessed, right? So like that was going to be on me. But like I bet on me. And like I showed up every day and worked so hard and, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Look at you. You started from the bottom. You just say you was privileged. Now you started from the bottom.
Well, but I look at my life with Danny. So like my life and my life with Danny is like two separate places, right? So like growing up, my life has been pretty easy, yes. But like when Danny and I got together, we were both like pretty broke, I mean, I was a teacher, and back in the day, teachers made like $35,000 a year, maybe. And he worked for his grandfather for $10 an hour. So take it back to like 2012. No, 20 years this? 2026? So like 2013. I moved here in 2013. Our first house was a 500 square foot concrete block shell. Our backyard is Howard Middle School. We lived on 12th Street. We lived on, in the white neighborhood, they call it a cul-de-sac. In the hood, they call it a trap. We lived on a trap in literally West Ocala. In a concrete block house. It was nothing. It was literally a concrete block. So Danny got that. His grandmother gave him like $3,000 and he had like $3,500. We bought it for $6,500 and we lived there for a year. So we made it a house and then we lived there. I didn't even have a bedroom door. And so, I mean, my mom like literally cried. She was like clutching her pearls, like, my daughter, she's not gonna, and now like, right. But like paid for cash, sold that. Danny bought another one, paid for cash, sold. And like we built the home we live in now, we paid for it. We built in cash. We don't have a mortgage. But like not because like somebody gave us a bunch of money, because we literally started in a home that like most people would not be humble enough to live in. Because everybody thinks, well, Susie on Instagram, she just lives in some fancy house. Well, she's probably house poor. But people just aren't humble.
And I think this is where the privileged part of what you just talked about come from. You talked about it in the beginning, how you talked about like some people started on, I forget how you put it, but they didn't start with the $200. They started with it. You just made a statement of your rock bottom was you still bought a home. Somebody gave you $3,000 and you still, you get what I'm saying? Like,
and other people don't have someone, right? But most people, like 99.9% of people are not willing to, which by the way, those were like 2012, they don't exist anymore. So also that part, But like, even take it back then, 99.9% of people are not willing to manually work on a home, to make it a home, and then live in the literal hood for a year. They're not.
How was that experience, living in the hood?
I felt totally safe.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you're a thug, or why? Why you felt safe?
No, because like I actually like I never felt unsafe. There was one singular instance. I was after work and I was taking a nap before I was going to the gym, and like you have a dream and like you're dreaming something. Then I woke up and I was like, oh, that's actually happening like in real life. But it was like just kids being kids.
Yeah.
But like like did I call the cops on my neighbor a few times because he was like beating his girl? 100%.
Oh, because being this girl, you should.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like generally speaking, no, I never felt unsafe.
Yeah.
But I don't ever I don't generally walk around like feeling unsafe. Yeah. But I tell people all the time too, because people ask me why I work out so much. And I'm like, I literally want to look unapproachable. Yeah. I want people to like look at me and then be like, I'm going to do that girl behind her. Because she's just not worth the fight.
You know? Put the dukes on. Okay.
100%. Like I've never been in a fight in my life. But I want them to think that I could fight. You know? Yeah. But yeah, so even in that moment, we were blessed to have support to get at go. But also we had to be willing to start there. And most people are not willing to start there. People are not humble.
I agree.
People have this idea that like they have to start. They can't realize that life could be great if you're willing to start at whatever your start is. But people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, and I agree. And I want to make sure I say actually you're a thug. I didn't mean like in a tough guy way. Like
no,
I'm saying that just how you just made a preference. I have to do that for the people because somebody's gonna watch and say, "Oh, he's ex or is she a thug?" Like I was actually like, "Are you tough?"
I definitely think that there's probably someone in my life who's considered me a thug before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I mean, my college name was Bonquiqui. You know about Quee?
We ain't go dig up your secret.
No,
you know?
But like my sorority sister would be like, oh, here comes Quee.
What were you doing? If you weren't fighting, what were you doing?
Cussing people out. Don't come for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But I used to drink, so I don't drink anymore.
Oh, so you was a drunk person that tried to be like mess up the fun.
I got a smart mouth.
I
got a smart mouth.
Ain't nobody beat you up because of that?
Never. Not one time.
But you just...
No. Right, I think most people are really concerned and scared about crazy white women though. Like crazy white women. Well, if that's what you want to call them. I think they got a new name. Gen X has a new name for them. Okay. There's a new name. Like we call it a Karen, but the new next generation calls it something else.
Ain't nobody scared of no Karen.
No, I do think though, like a drunk crazy white lady, you're like, we just want to leave her alone.
Yeah, because she gonna call the cops. She gonna get you locked up. You gotta leave her alone. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyhow, they called me Bonquiqui back in the day.
Okay, Bonquiqui. We'll keep that up. But anywho, and I'm glad of the growth, right? Got you here. Bonquiqui, the Dr. Sarah James. This is the growth. But one thing I do want to ask you, as far as leadership. So you're doing all these great things, the business owner and all this, but then you choose this. Well, you say you chose it. You kind of said a guy. You kind of answered this earlier. You said it was a God thing.
Yeah.
But when you went to the school board, like why the school board? And it's like, why do you still continue to choose the school board, right? Because when you got into it, right, that's a God thing. Just as cutting was a God thing for me. Never asked for this. But then when you get into it, you're like,
I got to keep doing this.
God, this is what you really want?
Actually, being an elected school board member is the longest job I've ever had.
Wow. So why?
Like, I like only worked at a place like, I mean, being a business owner too, but like, until I became a business owner and then got elected, like I've never had a job at one place. So as a school, as a teacher, I was always like here. Like some people are lifers at their certain place, not me. Like I was like, dude, like I worked at Bellevue for 2.5 years before I quit. But like now I've been at the school board for three years and change, and like this role, it is the longest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
First off, I'm not a quitter.
Okay. You just say you just quit at Bellevue.
No, I think I quit that job, but I'm not a quitter in like to me that job was no longer aligned with my morals and my values and what I needed to do. So I quit that job. Yeah. And so if we're looking at it from like that perspective, yes, I did quit. But I feel like I literally think sometimes you get handed opportunities from God, and you have to like, it's either an opportunity to like lean in and learn from it and grow and like be like, you know what? I am going to like quit this job and this product because I'm going to go do something else. But like once you're elected, like you can't just quit. Like no one's, I mean, it's a 4-year commitment. Like the voters voted for you, you're committed. Like this is what you're doing. Yeah. So like I would never just like quit. Yeah. And honestly, we're termed out now. We have term limits. So I mean, I can only do it one more time.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Bless and release. Let's say that you blessed and released Bellevue because it wasn't
blessed and released.
Quitting, because I don't like the word quitting either. But so you get into the school board thing, right? And over the past couple years, some things have arisen, came up, however you want to call it. So we had some, I guess, allegations, do we call it? So you had the situation with the
back to my front yard.
Yeah, I guess whatever you want to call it, but the construction situation, right?
That's still a situation.
Oh, that's still going on.
Yes, I mean, just in general.
Okay.
Like, it's still a thing. Like, we have so much work to do in facilities, but it's a hot mess.
Yeah. So with that whole thing that arose, is that something you could talk about?
I'll talk about anything.
Yeah. So
I'm free and clear.
So talk to me about that. So again, you get into these positions and you're not getting into them for.
I want things to be right.
Right.
I want things to be done the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a community first girl. I think that in all things, if we have the right thing in our community, why would we go somewhere else to get it if the right thing is here? And so we need to have authenticity in the way we do stuff and do it the right way, legally, all the things. And then we need to put the right people in the right places. And so that was a hot mess. Quick Google search will paint a one-sided picture of how that went. I think the one thing I've learned being elected is that you can't believe anything you read on the internet. Yeah. Because people can literally write whatever they want about you, and they leave out parts that are true, and they put in parts that aren't true. And I mean, literally, I'd have people calling me and be like, is this like, I mean, there were accusations that my son was a product of an affair.
Wow, I hear that.
With the former, the only reason I got a job at the school board as an AP was because my son was a product of an affair with the deputy superintendent at the time. That the only reason I got a loan to buy my building downtown, my $1 million building, which I am the only owner of, is because I was having an affair with the person who's on the board of the bank. No, a woman could just actually earn her way. Yeah. I could actually just have $100,000 that my business had, and then I bought a building, $1 million building. Like, that is actually a thing that could happen. It was a hot mess. Yeah. And to be honest, tears were shed. And that, any normal person would have called it a day. Yeah. But I think when God paves your path, it doesn't mean there's not gonna be speed bumps. He wasn't like, girl, it's gonna be fresh asphalt all the way. Yeah. Because to be fair, my life's been pretty easy. So you got to throw in a few hazard signs. It can't just always be easy all the time, because also it builds character to do hard things. Yeah. So it was hard seasons, but multiple ethics complaints later, here I am free and clear, because what is right is always right. What is right is always going to be right. You don't have to think it's right for it to be right. We don't have to agree. You can think I'm no good, very bad, the worst person in the world, but that doesn't mean that what I did was wrong. Yeah. And that is such a lesson for all things. Even our president right now, there are so many things our president does, and I'm like, well, are we really flipping off the media and saying explicitives to the media? I wish we had just had a little bit higher level of decorum. But also, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong, right? It could be morally wrong. It's not aligned with my compass. It's not, you don't like it, but that doesn't mean by the book and the rule book, it's wrong. Yeah. So, I mean, no, I stand by all of it. Yeah. Now, are there things I could have done differently? 100%. Should I not have picked up the phone on a few occasions and that would have led to different results? Yeah. Absolutely. And literally last week had an opportunity to return a phone call. And I literally said to myself, and I talked to somebody in district leadership about it, and I said, you're going to be so proud because I didn't call that person back. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to put myself in a position where I knew my flesh was not prepared to respond in a way that was going to be of the best character. Yeah. And I learned. But God gives you opportunities to learn all the time, but are you actually paying attention? Yeah. And so to me, last week was a prime example of this is an opportunity to put your fruits to work.
Growth.
Have you learned? Growth. And I literally got a call and a voicemail and a text message, and I did not respond because I knew that Sarah, the flesh, was not prepared to engage in productive discourse with that person. And so I just waited.
I like that. Growth. I love growth. So a couple things you said that I want to dissect in that. You spoke about a moment that you had tears. So throughout this whole podcast, we had a lot of like get it done, tough guy.
Cry.
This is the we haven't talked about this yet. So what can make Sarah James the direct
anger?
So that's what
I don't cry for my feelings getting hurt very frequently.
So it was anger. Okay, talk to me. So what about this?
Like if I'm mad, I'll cry because I'm like so disappointed in like outcomes or like processes. And you think in your head, we make predeterminations about how other people will respond. We shouldn't, but we do. Yeah. So in our head, we decide, okay, it's going to go A, B, C, and D. And then when we make those predeterminations and then it plays out and it's like D, B, C, A, you're like, no. It's supposed to be A, B, C, D. Yeah. And I respond in like super frustration because I'm like, no, which is why I just try not to plan anymore.
Yeah.
Let God figure it out. Yeah. Because if you plan and it doesn't go the way you intended, then I respond very angrily because I'm like, no, we had a plan. We agreed it was going to go this way. And I have learned in leadership that when you're working with other people who are leaders and some of which model their character after you and try to be good people and others do not, and they're a little bit more, I guess, devious or sneaky or whatever, it can really make you very mad when you're trying to manipulate would probably be the best word, how outcomes go when like you can't actually control other people.
Yeah.
You can try to control their behavior, but like you can't actually control other people. So I cry when I'm pissed because I'm like, that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you were crying in this more so not that you were hurt by what was going on, right? Because again, so you're telling me you're showing up authentic.
Yeah.
And now your authenticity is being questioned. That's
well, right. Because like you are insinuating that I'm doing something with an ill intent. No, I'm not. Like I'm just trying to do what's right, what I think is right. And so the accusation or assumption that somehow I'm showing preference or privilege to one person over another, which couldn't be farther from the truth, really makes me mad because I'm like, haven't I done a good enough job showing you who I am and demonstrating to you who I am? So for you to like assume that I'm like some type of way other than that, like really makes me mad.
Yeah.
And I give it less energy now than I used to. But I think assigning less plan to what I expect for people has helped because I'm less presumptuous about how other people will be.
Yeah. And it's probably going through the process of these things, right? Obviously the growth.
I've learned so much.
And learning it, right? Because you even come off, there's more there. You had the other situation. This is another thing with the team. And I know you're all still a team, so I don't want to go like bits and pieces into this, but this is something I just want to kind of get your mindset.
It's hard when your teammate
right.
calls the principal on you.
So yes. So with that accusation, and this is one thing I want to open up. I have no ill will towards anybody on the board. Even, I don't know a lot of people gonna watch this, so I want to even state this on there, even with Allison, right? Because I know that's something that's a big thing out there. Like Allison makes a decision what she think is best, right? Which everybody should.
All we can hope is that everyone makes decisions for what they think is best.
No wrong feeling with that.
Right.
And me and her sat down and we did the whole thing, and that's not a thing. I just want to I never said this publicly. I just wanted to mention that publicly. But I bring this up because even in this conversation, I can understand how it feels to be on a team, right, with a group of people, and you're supposed to be together. Team is together, each achieves more. But it feels like there might not be the togetherness.
So not anymore.
To be.
There was. So literally a year ago, almost to the day, I was in Tallahassee defending myself against an ethics complaint from a coworker, right? And that feels like so major and so big. It is big. And like, that was hard. Because then you're like, I'm supposed to work with this person who like clearly thinks that I'm unethical and like have made really poor decisions. I didn't. I was right. I was righted. I I wasn't unethical. And so right after that, I made one statement from the dais to say kind of like, and I wrote it and then I rewrote it a couple times because the first version was the Sarah Flesh version. It was a little bit feistier, and it got better over time and that's the only time I've ever like directly addressed it. And since then, for the last year, I've led with kindness. I give compliments. I go out of my way, even publicly and privately, to say that's such a good point. Thank you for leading that. Because ultimately, I'm carrying the heaviness of being mad at other people takes up so much space. And my life is so blessed and like full of so much good that like I don't want to carry around the heaviness of being angry at other people. Yeah. Nothing productive comes from that, right? That's just like toxic. Yeah. So I have just like leaned into like finding the good. And like when people show you who they are, you should believe them. Ideally the first time. So most of the time it takes us a variety of occasions when people show them who you are, show us who they are before we believe them. But believe people when they show you who they are, and just place them accordingly in your life. And so, like I have blocked certain people from my Facebook. They have big feelings about that. But I don't believe everybody gets access to what I do personally. And so we have super productive relationships. And I think it's a lot, and people have said this to me privately, like a lot of it has to do with the fact that like I didn't carry resentment and anger. I just moved on. I was like really angry for a minute, 100%. Sure. But like I haven't carried that. Like the last year I haven't carried it. We've just moved on.
Human emotion. That's what that is. Obviously, as when you especially feel like something like that when you're being questioned, I understand what that feels like. But I love the growth part of it, right? That's what I want to highlight. The growth part, move on, and now.
Yeah, and like life's like pretty good. There was a period of time where like we didn't talk, we didn't look at each other, like, and now like pleasantries. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. How's your husband? Yeah. Life's good. Like your sweater? Yeah. Because like ultimately, like why carry the weight of the negativity? You know? And
I actually love her. I love her. Just want to let that know. Anywho, next question. So, all this we're talking about, right? Yeah. All the stuff we like, this is a lot, right? But you still continue to do this. Has there ever been a time where you paused and was like, is this public thing that I'm choosing to do worth the private? You know what I mean? That
the violation. 100%. Yeah. So my husband would say no.
Yeah. Or personal cost. I think that's what I'm trying to. Is it worth the personal cost?
Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't make it any easier. Yeah. And like if I said I wasn't going to run again and like never do public office and just go back to our quiet life, my husband would like throw me a party. Yeah. Because it's not fun. And I can only imagine how hard it is to watch people say such horrible things about your spouse. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And like just sit quietly because he's not allowed to say anything. Yeah. Like cardinal rule number 1, you don't respond to comments on Facebook.
For sure.
So like to have to sit and just watch people be so unkind to your wife is like not easy. But if I put my head on my pillow, do I believe what I'm doing is right and it has impact? And if it has impact, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So you've been a teacher. You've been an admin, and now sitting in a board chair position, sitting on the school board. What's your perspective on current day public education system?
So the system is so broken in general. The reason I became a publicly elected school board member was because when I quit, I thought if I became a leader, I could like make it better. And then I became a leader. And I was like, well, damn, I'm not leading enough because it's still broken. Yeah. And so when I quit, people asked me like, will you ever come back to be a school leader? And I was like, I'm only coming back as a board member because then I will be able to impact change because now I'm one of 5 people who gets to make change. And so I still have to convince 2 people to do what I want to do. And I have to have a leader willing to do what I want to do. But that's like the only way. Florida has so much work to do. The system is just so broken. Everyone is real quick to paint pictures of public education, Marion County, any other public school system. We're the only country in the whole world that educates everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The only one. And public education is the only system that educates everyone. So charter, private, I mean, your kid's got to show up and twirl and respond on demand to get into kindergarten and private education. Yeah. But you can come in like Antavius and you don't know how to use a water fountain, and I'm going to educate you in public education.
Yeah.
And until we figure out how to educate everyone better, so have a system where everyone can be successful, it's still going to be really hard.
Yeah. And
I don't have some perfect toolkit for how we get there. I think there's place for private, and there's place for public, and there's place for charter. There's place for choice. I think what we're doing right now with family empowerment has a lot of opportunity for improvement.
Yeah.
There's so much missing money. It's real cute to talk about Doge, and then we're like, okay, well, let's Doge the fact that there's missing money because parents are double dipping and people are double dipping. And so, and then there's other, talk about, I'd love some guardrails on family empowerment. We have schools like, there's a school in Tampa. I guess I won't say its name. It's a private school in Tampa. It's a Muslim private school. Love that. Mm-hmm. If that's what works for you.
Yeah.
I don't think public tax-paying dollars should fund a Muslim education in America where they're teaching you to hate Americans.
Okay.
I think if you want to have private money, fund private education that is literally teaching you to hate America. I guess if your local government and your city council or whoever wants to approve all of that, then rock on.
Yeah.
But I don't think public taxpayer dollars should go to things like that. Mm-hmm. But we have to put guardrails on family empowerment for that to happen. We got to say, well, if you're going to take family empowerment money, then you have to teach some of the same courses that public education have to teach, like financial literacy and U.S. government. I don't know. I don't have the plan.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to Tallahassee tomorrow. Mm-hmm. People ask me all the time, so are you going to go to Tallahassee next? No, because I want to be able to pick my kid up from school or go on a field trip. I don't want to be in Tallahassee. Now when my kids are little, I don't know, maybe in 15 years from now when things look different. But right now, no. Because right now I want to be here. I want to be present for my family.
Yeah. Do you know that school is teaching them to hate America? That was just something you just...
I philosophically believe that is a part of the religion.
Okay. So that's just something what you believe, but that's not facts.
That would be like my philosophical belief about the religion.
All right. So cool. I just wanted to highlight that because you said that. And I didn't know if that was on their website or something that said that they were doing
I think if you read their website and read in between the BS, you could read that.
Okay.
Yep.
Your thing.
And so I just think taxpayer dollars.
I get that.
Need to have guardrails.
I get that. And I just clarifying because he's made the statement.
I'll stand on it.
Yeah, I get it.
I just
wanted to make sure.
I think it's concerning. And if I were these Republicans who are so obsessed with public education, I'd be really obsessed that our choice money, which everyone is so impassioned about, is going to fund schools that are not aligned with American values. They're definitely not America first at all. Yeah. And so how can we at one hand say we want choice and we want all these things, but then we have no guardrails and we're just letting America first money go to not America first?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole, I don't want to go there, but I want this America first thing. That's a whole, because a lot of decisions that's being made is not America first.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? So, but we say America, but decisions, but I don't want to spend this time.
That could be a whole
I don't want to spend this time, but I just want to do that.
I don't think we should be anywhere but in America.
Okay.
So we shouldn't be going nowhere.
Okay.
Sending money to Timbuktu.
Okay.
Until our streets are clean and we look like Dubai and our people are fed.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're sending it all over the world.
You gotta keep praying, talk about look like Dubai. But anywho, what do you believe? What do you believe the true purpose of education is?
To create a community and a citizenship that is productive and prepared. Okay. So we started this whole education thing way back because, well, one, we needed a place for the kids to go. And then we realized there was power in helping people become more informed. And we've created this system now pre-K through 12, and then post-secondary, which don't even get me started on post-secondary and the university hot mess that we have going on. But fundamentally, isn't the goal to create better human beings? Like I want kids to leave better than they started.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be able to read and do math. I want them to have problem-solving skills. I want them to have emotional intelligence. And like, are we executing all of those 10 out of 10? No, absolutely not.
Heavens no.
No. But we can't do everything in 7 hours a day, 180 days a year. So until the community and the parents become informed and involved again, this ship is not going to right itself. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. Until people invest in their own children and stop expecting the school system to raise them, we're only going to be able to do so much.
Yeah.
Because Antavius doesn't know how to use a water fountain.
Yeah.
And he's 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, who's supposed to own that? And that I think is a question our community has to answer. And so I care about Marion County. That's what I care about. So I want this to be better, and I want our community to be better, and I want to continue to like help the Early Learning Coalition meet as many kids as possible. I mean, when you look at VPK, even so, 4-year-olds, less than 50% of eligible 4-year-olds in our community are using their VPK certificate. Why? And the data shows the kids who did VPK are performing better in kindergarten. So like, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they? They're just showing up to kindergarten, and the legislator is paying for VPK. Yeah. So what do we do about that?
Yeah. And I truly believe what you said with the parent buy-in part of education begins and ends at home. I think that's something. I think when we talk about a start, that's the start, right? The buy-in, right? The buy-in from both sides. This isn't most thought process is I bring my kid to school to be educated. Like, education happens at school. It's like, education begins and ends at home. And I think that's a starting place. But that's just my mindset. But I want to ask you this. If you had the ability to redesign the public education system and start over and do it differently, what would you do to start?
Well, I think school needs to start at 4. So, and obviously I own childcare centers. Mm-hmm. I believe by age 3, kids need to be with like-age peers, because they have to start learning how to problem solve. They have to start learning how to work well with others or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think by 4, kids need to be in a full-day program. Now, Florida doesn't even fund a full-day program, so that's part of the problem. But kids need to be in a full-day program that's developmentally appropriate. Mm-hmm. So I'd start there. I would loosen the belts on academics. So much. We do so much. Oh my gosh. Right? And like, I don't even know why, as an example, kids who are technical college bound. Sorry, I have like such
tickle. Yeah, about to say me about to die, right? So give you some time.
Kids who are technical college bound. Why do they have to pass the Algebra 1 EOC? Like,
yeah.
Because we have some agreement at the state level with the test maker? Like, and like, I'm don't put my hand on the Bible about that, but like, why are we so committed to like all of this testing? And like, yeah, there's accountability is important. I love accountability. But to cross the finish line, if you're going to go be a welder, why do you need to pass the Algebra 1 EOC? I don't understand it.
Good question.
And the legislator will say, because we need accountability. Accountability for what? If the kid can pass a welding exam and exit the public school system making $80,000 a year, there's accountability.
Yeah.
We have turned out a positive, productive citizen.
Yeah. So that's a lot of what we talk about building that school to career pipeline here. A lot of talks about this in public education. I allot it to the Titanic. You understand, when the Titanic, like a big ship, like it's hard to turn a big ship. It's going to take a lot to happen to turn a ship. That's why we have new forms of education popping up.
Well, but public education gives up on everything every 5 years.
Yeah.
So like, we never do anything long enough to like actually watch the ship turn.
Yeah.
Because we just, we're like, a couple of years, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Let's try something new.
Yeah. So it's a lot going on. But what I do want to do, right? So in kind of in the shift, because I know we've been on for a while now. So in regards to your time to kind of sum up what we've been talking about, one thing I do, so all the hats you're wearing. So we just went over a whole bunch of things, from the business owner to the board chair to just all the demands that your life have on top of that. And I think you mentioned it at the beginning, outside of the roles, who you actually are. You're the mom, you're the wife, you're the sister, whatever, all these different roles. How do you, to sum up this episode, how do you balance all these things? Like, how do you do just this life thing and be able to be all these, the one that's up at 4 doing the gym thing, the one that's doing all, like, how do you balance it all?
I mean, I've always been so good at managing my time. Like, as a kid, I could like backwards plan into a project. I was always so good at that. So my calendar is like my Bible, second to my Bible. And I have a plan, always. And I am not like a sitter. So like, I don't like waste time. Most moms will relate to this, but like, I rarely sit down, because as soon as I sit down, somebody's gonna need something.
Yeah.
So I maximize every single moment, and I only do the stuff that is like super important to me, and I don't do stuff that is not of value.
Yeah.
I just don't. And like, there are things that are super sacred. Like, we go to church on Sundays at 8:45 at Meadowbrook. And like, if we're not in town, which is very rare, we're not at church. But if we're in town, we're not watching online. Like, things are just, and people are like, man, you get out of the house and like get to church by 8:45. And I'm like, I mean, my kids are up anyways. So I can either like laissez-faire or like, let's go, everybody up, here we go. Yeah. And so like, we just like execute life. Yeah. And I only do what's important to me.
Yeah. I like it. What keeps you, and you just mentioned, church, and you mentioned it early on how your faith life has come along over the years, but I'll let you answer the question. What keeps you grounded?
I would say like, my husband, for sure. He's like really good at like bringing me back to life, and saying,
Look off.
Like an ego check, I guess you could say.
For sure.
And I read the Bible every day. 2024, I read the Bible cover, which was not fun.
That's a lot.
It's cool to like know the stories, but cover to cover was hard. Yeah. Not the best way to read the Bible. But I think I just try to like make decisions that I think are aligned with outcomes that I want to be able to stand by. Yeah. And so I just try and like live very authentically, be who I am, and stand by what I do. And like, I'm not perfect by any means. And like, I have shortcomings in life, and I'm definitely have moments as a mom where you're like, oh, I could have done that better. Or a wife. But like, just acknowledging where you fell short, do better, and like stand in that. And I don't know, I guess that's like my true north.
Yeah. Like, so for the person that's watching this, right, and this, so thank you, right? Thank you for coming, allotting your time, your calendar, so giving us time. So you, the person that's watching, right, you've been able to share who you are as a person, how you live authentically in yourself. So those are a lot of like, that is what we're missing in the world, right? We got the social media thing. Everybody's living these false realities, and a lot of people are not being themselves. Can you just look in this camera, right, and give any encouragement to the person that's watching, right, that they may want to, right? They may are searching for, asking God, like, help me to be me.
Yeah.
Or just confident in myself. Like, I know what to say, I just don't say it.
Yeah.
I shy back, I hide. I would rather not be upfront because it's uncomfortable, because I'm scared of what somebody else will say. What is some motivation and encouragement that you will give to that person to help them step into the light like you do every day?
So I think like God always figures it out. He always figures it out. I was just on the phone before I came in here and I was like, I was talking about tithing and like, you know, in the fall, Pastor Tim talked about tithing and like just the purpose of tithing and what your tithing should do and what it should reflect. And I like really changed substantially how I tithe. And, you know, in the moment, you're like, man, that's like a lot. Like, I don't know if I got it like that, right? Yeah. But like every single time I bet on myself and it has the good intention, like proper intention, it like always works out.
Yeah.
And like, it's to the point where my staff and the ladies who run my schools, they don't even like question anymore. I'll be like, yeah, you know, that person's not supposed to be here, but like someone new is gonna come in the door, or yeah, that's not gonna go this way, but like I don't know, this position, discernment, I guess, right? I'm just like, it's not gonna work, but like I know something else is gonna come, and I really do. Like I have so much discernment, and you know, they used to question it, like, okay, you know, because it's hard to believe and trust that like it's literally just gonna work out.
Mm.
Well, like God's got it, like legitimately. And so when you're willing to like let go and let God, which is like such a overdone saying, but like I literally have just stopped being in charge and have truly like given up direction, and I listen and then I abide. And if you are willing to do that, it all works out. Now, does it work out the way like you thought it was going to work out? That's not what it's about. Yeah. It's about like, does it work out the way it's intended to work out? Yeah. And so literally just let God and like abide, and then work really, really, really hard, because you still have to work really hard. Yeah. Like you still have to show up.
Yeah. I love it. Last question I have for you. So if you look at our logo, EL2A, you see the person breaking the chains. Exposure leads to access. So we believe once you get exposed to something, obviously you grow, you learn, and then you find a way to gain access. The word exposure does a lot to who we are. It's cut different. My personal life, like exposure has done a lot for me. Simply me leaving Ocala and going to see that the world was bigger than here. Exposure.
Yeah.
For yourself, what has exposure done for you?
So I think it's important to remember and realize too that there are moments where you're exposed or you get opportunity for exposure. And it's not always supposed to be, like you're supposed to learn something from it, but not always positive, right? I remember getting my doctorate in leadership. People would say, you know, you have those questions like, name the leaders you learned from and the leaders you didn't learn from. That list of leaders I didn't learn from, real long, right? But that was exposure. And so exposure gives you opportunity to learn. But then what you do with that knowledge is on you. Like you have to then define, is this something I'm supposed to like do? Or am I something I'm supposed to learn what I'm not supposed to do? Or how I'm supposed to do it or how I'm not supposed to do it. So the exposure, the opportunity or access to learn is huge. But then you have to have someone helping you realize what you should do with the information you're absorbing.
I love it. Stop what you're doing. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Definitely. So I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. There's so many things that you said that we could have went further on, but I'm pretty sure we already over an hour and a half with a long time. So we gotta we can't go on for forever. We may have to do a part 2.
Joe Rogan it?
Yeah, we can't do Joe Rogan. Joe
5 hours later.
5-hour podcast. We can't do this. But and I greatly appreciate you. I appreciate the insight. And I think it's even good for the public, right, to be able to have this type of access to you and to all the leaders, right? The transparency, right? Even we talked about some tough decisions will happen, but people want to know, right? People want to understand, okay, what that was about. And thank you for your transparency. Thank you for coming up here and allowing this space to be a place that you came and gave that insight to. So I greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I work for the people. As an elected official, you work for the taxpayer. I answer any question, any phone call. I respond to every email, every text message, because I work for you. Now, I don't have to give you access to my personal life, but from a business and a school board perspective, I work for the people. I'll answer any question. I
like it. Well, there you have it, folks. Dr. Sarah Jane, stop what you're doing right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And also comment in the episode, man. She said a lot, right? Comment in the episode on the thread. Let us know what you think about the episode, anything that she said. If you want to blaze the comment section, they're wide open for you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll let you in the podcast in any way that you see fit. Sometimes people come up and they give words of encouragement. Sometimes people just tell how people can reach you, tell about your schools, your business, however you want to do. The floor is yours.
I think God's going to bring whenever right people are supposed to come my way. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's always a pleasure to be able to speak my testimony. And I encourage everyone to pick up the Bible and read and trust God that whatever you're supposed to do, you will be walked in that direction if you abide. And life can be so unimaginably amazing. You just have to give grace and opportunity for good things to come your way, and then just not give energy to the negative stuff, and really amazing things are going to come your way.
Love it. Amazing things coming your way, especially if you keep watching these podcasts. All right, we'll see y'all next week.